on the stage right now, singing your favorite song.
What's up with YouTube? Whether you are new here or not, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As you can tell by the title and the thumbnail of this video, I'm going to be doing my hair, and it is bubble braid bob style with jewels. So let's get right into it. I just took my hair down, which was a separate video of me basically explaining where I've been and everything. So first thing I want to go over is everything that I'll need. So I have a mirror in front of me and a mirror behind me so I can see the back of my head when I'm parting it. I also have 2 packs of this easy pre-stretched hair. It is color 2, and I got it pretty long. I was thinking about cutting it in half, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. But when I get to the top, I would want to the bottom to still be pretty thick, so I figured it would be best to get them long. And then I also got this model glance braid curly hair or whatever. I'm gonna put curly strands throughout the braids. I'm also going to be using some Got To Be hairspray to kind of get those flyaways and, you know, just to lock in my hair when I do get done with it, because these are going to be some pretty big knotless braids, and my hair is 4C, so you know. I also have some rubber bands to secure the braid, and I have these decorations. I have some wooden beads, light and dark, and then I also have these right here. I want to put one of each on each braid as, you know, decoration, because I think that's cute. I might switch it up though and make like 2 all beads and none of these, or all these and none of these, or, you know, just a variety of different combinations. I'm also going to be using this orange jam, not just any jam, orange jam, and I use this for my parts and to slick down the hair. I'm also going to be using this parting comb, which has this right here that I found sharper, and this right tail comb. Alright y'all, so my phone had died, so we're in a different spot. But when I went back to look at the film, I saw that I had something on my lip. It was a piece of corn because I just ate, and it was so annoying. I'm so sorry. But I stopped there talking about how I had something to tie my hair up and back and out the way while I braided it. And I also want to mention that I am starting off on completely dry hair, but it's halfway stretched. I blow dried it, but I didn't want it to be completely straight, because when you braid curly hair, it helps when you are able to tuck the curls in its natural state. So if like steam was to hit it or something, it was already in its natural state, so it's not like this, you know, you slicked it down with some gel and there's like a loose end somewhere, and when the steam hit it, it just frizzes back up. It reduces the frizz after you get in the shower, or if you get in the rain or anything like that. Now if you get it directly wet, of course it'll frizz up, but if you're not getting it wet, which you're not supposed to, then it'll help the braids last longer, especially knotless on 4C hair. But with me doing my own hair, I did wanted it to be a lot more manageable than doing it on my normal hair. So I did pre-stretch the roots and a little bit of the ends, just not all the way. So is it still recording? The light just went off, sorry. My hair is not all the way stretched, but it is all the way dry, and I did dry it with some silk therapy stuff. Not Biosilk, Silk Therapy, Biosilk. So yeah, I'm gonna get into it. The jam and the comb is all I need for right now. So what I want to do is pre-part the hair and just kind of section it off. I'm gonna pre-part the whole back half of my head and maybe the front, depending on how tired I am of parting, because once I get tired of something, I just want to, like, okay, well, let me start braiding and then I can go back to parting when I get to it. But yeah, I'm finna pre-part my hair. What I do is I do a rough section with this rat tail comb. And I section it from ear to ear, and then I section it a rainbow part just like this to help with my parting. And I also want to split it down the middle in the rainbow part to help me get those lines a little bit straighter. And what I'm gonna do is once I section it off, I'm going to part out my rose, a rough part of the rose with the rat tail comb, and I straighten it up with this end, and I put the jam on there, and I really straighten it up with this. And I usually will use clamps to kind of clamp the hair, loose hair out of my way, but I honestly don't feel like doing all of that, so we're just going to pull it away with the rubber band. And I'm just gonna hold my spot with a braid that turns into a twist so I can hold my parts, and then I can just go straight to braiding. So I just wanted to tell y'all how I was parting my hair. A lot of people use that mirror with the thing like that in the mirror in front of them, but I got a tall mirror right here and a tall mirror right there, and that's how I've been doing it, and that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm not gonna pay no money for no 3-point turn whatever mirror point. So I'm gonna put it on the speed lapse because my storage, and I just told y'all what I'm doing, and I don't want it to get too repetitive. So
your boy got the full body do-rag out.
Drop the roof and let the smoke clear. I got diamonds doing sissy slides in both ears. Dice rolling on the Las Vegas strip tonight. Slip that on and we might miss the fight. Fuck a night, I keep the wallet in my shorty bag. You know she one of mine when she tattooed that ass. I'm a lover boy, she love the toys. Keep it coming, you a rider. This that roll myself a day and count my figure shit. This that stepping out, I feel like I'm that nigga shit. I drop 30 on this room, we ain't gon' sleep for shit. If I catch you nodding off, then it's gon' be some shit. Well, you can do what you wanna, live how you wanna, spit what you wanna, be who you wanna be. We don't stutter till I D.I.E. You can do what you wanna, live how you wanna, spit what you wanna, be who you wanna be. We don't stutter till I D.I.E.
alright y'all, so I am done parting it out. So I'm gonna just kind of do my first twin like I always do, which my first one is just so y'all can see my first one and know what to expect with your first one. I really just don't have a tutorial or whatever. This is my first time ever doing something like this, except for knotless. I know how to do knotless, but you know, with the bubbles and you know, all that good stuff. But I will show y'all like a tutorial in the middle, and then I'll show y'all a tutorial on the edges because I got real thin edges. So I'm gonna teach y'all how to get that going without pulling out your edges but still making it look good, you know, all that good stuff. So it's gonna be like a tutorial on a regular piece of hair, tutorial on a thin piece of hair or the edges, and y'all gonna see my very first braid. All right, my first braid, I'm not gonna add no curls to it. My first one a little skimpy. Gonna coat the roots with some jam. I don't want to use too much jam. There's gonna be a lot of product buildup, and I don't want it to do too much slicking because I really want to know what my hair will look like in 2 days after I've taken like 3 showers, you know. So I'm gonna part the hair in 3, and I'm gonna begin to braid. And before I cross anything, I'm gonna add a piece of hair to the front and the top, or the top and bottom, as y'all can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna braid that as tight as I can. Well, I'm not gonna say as tight as I can, just real tight, but not too tight. You don't want your hair falling out, you know. And I just did the same thing and to add that in. And when I add in my third piece of hair, I always make my second piece that I add in a little thicker, because I added to a strand that don't have no added hair, and I added to a strand that already has added hair. So when I added my third one, which is the same amount as my second one, but my first one, but my first and second one is the same amount of hair added to just the second one alone. So when I add this to the 2 thinnest ones, it'll kind of match the energy of that second one and kind of make it even. Some people just add in 4 strands, 4 pieces of about the same thickness, but that's what I like to do. So when I get to the end, I'm gonna get some jam to kind of smooth it out, and I'm gonna comb it. I'm only gonna add it to 2 pieces because that's all I need really before I get enough for that 3rd strand. So as soon as I get to the bottom of my hair, that's when I'm gonna add the rubber band, because with these being bob length, the back is already gonna be super short. I want it kind of like a long bob. These are already gonna be super short. Let me cut these ends, because I'm not gonna sit here and try to pull all of this through here. Where's my scissors? I'm gonna cut that tail off. I'm gonna want to pull them to about right here, which is about where my real hair ends. And since it's this kind of hairstyle, I know, like, because this is where I would want my bob to stop. But I want 3 bubbles at the end, so it can't stop right. It can't stop right there. So however long it is, once I make these 3 bubbles, is how long my bob gonna be. I was going for a longish bob. So this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, right here I'm gonna add a clamp, so I'm not too worried about it. Then I'm gonna just make another space and add the rubber bands on there pretty tightly. Dang, I need that crochet needle for the bead. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this. This is the part I was scared about, because I didn't know if it was gonna like frizz to make the bubble, or if it was just gonna like act stupid. I didn't know what to expect. Okay, it's a little bit of a bubble. I wish there was a way for me to make it like an actual bubble, which you can get that easily with the kinky hair. Could y'all even see that at all? Which you can get that easily with the kinky hair, but I knew braiding hair, it would be a struggle for it to get in the actual ball shape. So I'm just gonna add the clamp right here. And wherever I want to add the bead, before I go on to make my next bubble, I add the bead, because you won't be able to pull a hair bead through here with the bubbles. I really need a crochet needle for the beads. Found a crochet needle, but I actually got this crazy idea to kind of just get a little creative with it. Instead of having 3 bubbles at the back, I'm gonna just have 1 so my bob can end where I want my bob to end. So I'm gonna put this bead on here, and that's gonna be like, this is gonna be where it stops at. But as I go up, I'm gonna add 2 bubbles, and then when I get to right here, I think I can add 3 bubbles. But after this, when I get to this row, I can make it to where I can braid it down to my rear hair, make 2 bubbles, and then braid it down some more and make 1 bubble at the end. Or braid it down to my rear hair, make 1 bubble, and then braid it down, make 2 bubbles at the end. And when I get to the tippity top, I can braid it down to my rear hair, make a bubble, braid it down, make a bubble, braid it down, make a bubble, maybe 2 bubbles somewhere up in there. I'm just gonna get creative with it. And instead of having them uniform like the all braid it all the way down to right here and then bubbles, I don't want it like that. I want it to be kind of like a mixture of braids and bubbles. So that's how I'm gonna do it. So this is what my first one looking like. My phone on 10% because the charger is not charging for some reason. But anyway, I'm gonna put the bead on the crochet needle, and I'm gonna grab that hair just like this, and I'm gonna pull it through. And I'm not sure how well this gonna work with this hair being so thick. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna pull it down. As y'all just saw what I just learned, you don't want to pull the crochet needle through it all the way at the top like that, because it's not gonna work. You want to pull it a little bit more down instead of right there on the rubber band. So now I actually kind of want to, okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to, can this go through here with this? I'm going to get a small piece of hair and pull that through the bead, like over the bead, so it can lock in. I hope I'm explaining this right. Did y'all see what I just did? Pulled a piece of hair from the bottom of the bead and I just drug it to the top, and I'm just get any kind of extra flyaways or whatever. Just so it can hold the bead a little better. Oh, and if I pull the bead up a little bit, it make it a little bit more bubbly. Okay. I'm gonna kind of rubber band it a little higher than I actually want it to be, so I can tug that bead down a little bit so it can go over the, like that, it can go over the rubber band. So I'm gonna cut just right below the rubber band, and I'm gonna pull this down. Well, no, I'm gonna cut somewhere. No, I'm not. Just about right there. And that's the first braid. Okay, this is really cute. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Okay, this is the first braid. I'm gonna come to y'all when I get up in the middle section. Y'all gonna see what it's looking like. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna do an edge piece. I'm gonna add a curly piece to it, and I'm gonna section off my hair. Show y'all how I section off my hair. The first one is always the smallest one because I gotta match it with my hair. And the second one is always the thickest one because one of those on the second one won't have any other hair except for that, plus my real hair, but that'll run out. And this third one is always in between. So with my edges, as y'all know, they're a little thin, a lot thin, and I kind of want these to be with the big edge look, but I know how I am, so I kind of compromised because I want them kind of big but not too big. So I'm gonna get my gem and I'm gonna apply it all around. And I'm gonna hit my ends too. I'm gonna take my comb. And I'm heavy on the smoothing. And I have been on all of these, and I usually wait till like the last row or something to do all the extra shenanigans and stuff, But with these being so big and me having 4C hair, I really want to, you know, get each one of these right. Because I want them to last for a little bit, you know. And they're pretty big parts for my hair. So I do take that extra mile. So I'm going to smooth them back. And I'm going to just part out my edges. Because I don't want to braid up my edges. They already sparse. I'm going to try to match the energy with the other side, but this side is a little bit more sparse than the other side, so okay. So I'm gonna smooth what I'm braiding all the way back. And with knotless braids, if you ever wonder why the ones on your ends tend to be looser when you're doing it yourself, it's because we do it like this. But if we bring our hand a little bit more over, it helps grip the front end better, so it's not so loose. It's very uncomfortable, but it won't last the whole braid, so it's okay, just the beginning. You know what I did in the first braid? And when I'm pulling braids around the front, I'm really going to pull my hand over. And to prevent me from holding it in my mouth, because for some reason it hurts my jaw when I hold it in my mouth, I put one in between where I'm braiding at and then one on top, because that's where you're going to add it at anyway. And I just braid it in like that. Now, I'm going to add a curly piece. I don't like for my curly piece to be sliding back and forth, so I'm gonna wrap that around here because I don't want to hold it in my mouth because I'm talking. I'm gonna braid 1/2 in there. It's time to add this piece, y'all. Once I add that last piece, I can get comfortable and bring it down. And with this way, it's easier for me to tuck in my real hair to really get it good in there. Now, y'all see this trend with the curly piece. Once I get this curly piece on the side where it's my face at, I'm gonna take it out. So it's 2 curly pieces every time I, you know, add one. In the braid, I'm leaving out 2 because these are pretty big braids. And I don't add them in every one of them. Okay, I'm done braiding up my real hair. So I just braid down a little bit farther because when you putting the rubber band on and working with it, the braid's gonna unravel a little bit and you don't want it to unravel where your real hair is. So as you can see, by the time I added the rubber band on, you see how it's already unraveling, and it unraveled right to where I put the rubber band at. So I want my first one to be a clamp. All of them not like that, but I really want this first one to be a clamp, so I'm gonna just leave it be. All of these are super different. So on this one, I'm gonna do a bubble braid bubble pattern. I did learn how to do bubbles like really good compared to my first one. So I'm gonna add the rubber band. And I wasn't gonna do a styling video to these, but I am because I can style these. It's in this back bun right now and it's so cute. That's gonna be one of my styles, a back bun. But yeah, I'm gonna just try to do styles with these. That's gonna be a whole nother video though. So the key is not to wrap it too tight, because when you wrap it too tight, that's when the rubber bands pop, or it's easy to pop later on. So I'm gonna spread it out. Now the key is, the trick is, I'm going to get, like, I'm gonna spread this hair out in two and pick up a small strand from what seems like the middle of the bunch. I'm gonna divide it in two and pull, and it makes the perfect bubble in this day. Like, it stay. And when you do that, you can, you know, dictate how far up or whatever you want the thing to go super duper easy. So I'm gonna put what did I say? Bubble braid bubble. I'm gonna put a bead right here. These beads are hard to do on thicker braids, so I'm gonna show y'all how I do it. So I take out a piece of hair, crochet needle, bead, notice how I split it in half because it's so thick. If I try to, when you pull this through a crochet needle, as you're pulling it, it doubles. So you're not just pulling this amount, you're pulling this amount, which is too thick to go through there. So when you have it up like this, you're pulling through this amount, which is about the same size as the regular one, right? So when I'm gonna go back through there and I'm gonna divide this in two, because again, we're not just pulling in that, we're pulling in double that. So you're gonna be pulling in the same amount as if you tried to do one double. Well, a little bit less, but you know, it's gonna be a struggle. So I pull that through there. I'm getting that straightened out. Okay, and it takes a little bit extra time, but it's so much easier. If you pull a crochet needle too hard, the middle part, I'll show y'all, will literally like pop out. And that happened to me a few times trying to pull too many through at one time, and it's just not worth the struggle, because when I try to put it back in there, the bead comes out, or the hair comes out of it comes out of the bead, and it kind of just reverses whatever you just struggled to do that broke it in the first place. So it's just not, it's not worth it. It's not worth the struggle. So I'm gonna pull this, oh, no. I'm gonna pull this up over the rubber band, and that piece of hair that I left out, I'm gonna pull it over the bead just to secure it a little bit more. And I'm gonna rubber band it. And I like to pull the bead down a little bit, so it's a little bit more over the bottom rubber band. So it's just like that in between. So this is gonna be a braid. So I feel like this is pretty simple. I'm just gonna split it up and braid it. Y'all see my hair poking out of there? I would usually cut that, but with these clamps, I can just clamp it down. So since this is gonna be two braids, instead of braiding it, rubber banding it, and then splitting it again, then braiding it, I'm gonna just braid it super long, and I'm gonna rubber band it at the way bottom, and then I'm gonna rubber band it in between it so it can go ahead and make two. So what is the amount of two? This would be one, this would be two. So I'm gonna do it about right here. A little bit higher. It could go a little bit lower. I'm around the same thing. So with this row right here is 4 bubbles. So I can do 4 sections of bubbles or braids. This one right here, of course, was 3. This one was 2. And the bottom was 1. So this one is going to be 5. And this one's going to be 6. So I get a little bit more freedom with the patterns as the rows go up. So now I'm going to take it out. And I want another bead. I'm going to do a light bead. The beads also kind of make it heavier. With these not being able to get dipped because of the bubbles, and the rubber bands will pop if they get dipped in water. With the beads on there making them heavier, it makes them lay down instead of stick out or being stiff due to not being able to dip them. Okay, let's do it once again. This time I'm gonna show y'all how I can dictate the length a lot better. So I'm gonna end this one with a clamp. I already have 2 beads on here. So I'm gonna separate it. Now I'm gonna pull out one out of here. It's because it's a little easier to tell the length. This one is actually a little bit longer than the rest of them, a little bit. I'm not too trippy about it being so straight across, since it's a longer bob of braids. So I'm gonna make it a little bit shorter than this one. So I'm gonna get those 2 strands. I don't know if y'all just saw me, but you know, I already showed y'all this method with the 2 strands in the middle. And I'm gonna just pull it up to where I want it to stop at. I want it to stop right there. Since the end is going to be a clamp, I'm going to go ahead and cut it as close to the rubber band as possible, but not too close. I should have gotten more clamps, I know that much. Uh-oh, my clamp don't go high enough for that right there. So you know what I'm gonna do? Snip, snip. These are hair shears. So that's fine. It's just hair. So I'm gonna get these curly pieces that I put to the side. And with curly pieces, you don't want to pull and cut because they're gonna draw back up. So you want to let them hang without pulling them. See where you want to cut them. And then, ooh, you know, cut. Just want to show y'all how they look so far. They're all just crazy different patterns. Some of them are braid bubble. Some are all bubbles. Haven't did one all braids yet. I'm gonna have to do one. A few up here that's all braids. Some of them are bubble, braid bubble. You know, just different patterns. So yeah, I'm gonna come back to y'all when I have one more left in the back, which is gonna be my last one left. Hopefully I get to it before church, y'all. It's the next day, because last night it was just taking so long, and last night I just got so tired and drained. So yeah, hopefully I get to it.
Your boy got the full body do-rag out.
Drop the roof and let the smoke clear. I got diamonds doing sissy slides in both ears. Dice rolling on the Las Vegas strip tonight. Slip that on and we might mystify. Fuck a night, I keep the wallet in my shorty bag. You know she wanna mine when she tattoo that ass. I'm a lover boy, she love the toys. Keep it coming, you a rider. This that roll myself a day and count my figure shit. This that stepping out, I feel like I'm that nigga shit. I drop 30 on this room, we ain't gon' sleep for shit. If I catch you nodding off, then it's gon' be some shit. Well, you can do what you wanna, live how you wanna, spend what you wanna, I just run it up before I go. Would you tell the world my secrets if I let them close? Feel my ready, sending action. These days no Kumaye, niggas be past tense. Living in the middle, this shit might drive you mad. Ain't it pretty mixed up, but this life shit ain't all bad. Bloody murder, there ain't no second